Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another great edition of my Groom Show. For the Groom Show today, I got a very awesome guest. She's a professional wrestler, and her name is Big Big Swole. And I'm really looking forward to talking to her about her life, about her wrestling career. And she had a brief stint with WWE. She was part of AEW, and now she's doing a lot of other amazing things. So we're going to talk to her all about that. I am Rocco Cross. I am the host at Stutters, as you can tell already. I am the host of the Grue Show, and my interview with Big Swole will be coming up very soon. This is my Grue and as always, my Gruelings. Welcome to my nightmare. So stay tuned and let's have some fun. All right. Welcome to Grue, and thank you so much for coming on. I appreciate it.
Of course, of course.
Thank you.
Thank you for
Um,
having me.
yeah, of course, of course. So the first I want to start out asking you, like, I see you were actually in the Air Force before getting involved with like wrestling and stuff. And what did
hmm
what did you do there? Like, what kind of things did you do in the Air Force?
I was a fire truck mechanic.
Oh
So I
wow.
was raised, yeah. So I was working with heavy duty diesels, deuce and a quarter. And like I was working with a lot of heavy machinery, like striker, fire trucks and stuff like that. And like we would work on gas engines too, like when I had to do a stint in like customer service and stuff, like do a lot of tire rotations in there. But yeah.
Damn, that's a lot of work.
It is. It is. I'm small, so I can fit in the little compartments. Yeah.
And then like what made you want to get involved with the sport of wrestling? Like what inspired you to want to wrestle?
Well, I grew up around wrestling, of course. Like I feel like everybody. Yeah, my dad, Laro, he would you know, we would watch all the time, flicking back and forth through the channels and stuff. And then when I met Cedric, I was like, okay, this is something that I've wanted to do, and I'm going to do it now. I have the means and, he have high spots. And I was just like, I'm going to do this.
Nice.
Yeah.
And who were some of the ones that you loved watching when like you said when you were flicking through the channels and
Oh,
watching all the wrestling?
funny enough, I would always make my family stop at a glacier match. Like,
Glacier.
yeah, because he reminded me of the character from Killer Instinct. So I think it's
Yes.
like Striker or something like that. And I was
Yeah.
like, he looks like that dude, when you change him to blue. I was like between that and I was like I was getting Sub-Zero vibes. So, but yeah, definitely that. And then of course the greats, Stone Cold, The Rock, Jazz. I was always like, hey, we're watching this man.
Yeah, jazz was awesome. I used to love
Yes.
watching jazz wrestle.
I know all those muscles. I was like, yeah.
I know. I know. And Glacier did throw off to me like the sub zero vibe. Like as soon as I saw Glacier, I'm like, oh
hmm
my God, they got him from Mortal Kombat.
Right. I was like, this is cool. I was like, wait a minute.
And which school did you go to learn how to wrestle? Like who was your trainer?
I went to High Spots
Yeah.
and yeah, that's in Charlotte. Yeah, Charlotte, North Carolina. And I was trained by Mr. One, George South, and of course Cedric. uh Jake Man Scout, Jake Manning, and
Mhm.
Caleb Conley.
Wow, you had a lot of good trainers there.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it was really good. So we had a really nice, like, well knit family going on
Oh,
over there. hmm
and George South has definitely been around the block for a while, so you
I
definitely learned from
know.
someone good.
Yeah, he's so hilarious. Like he's really just the best trainer ever. He takes his time and he'll get a little. Like, what are you doing, fruit? Like, it would like yell at you a little bit. Like, oh my gosh, never in my whole entire year. I done been with Ricky Steamboat traveling back and forth, and I've never seen nobody take a hip toss like that. Oh my gosh. He's like, he'll go off on like rants on people, but it's hilarious.
Oh my God, I love that.
Yeah.
I mean, he seems like that kind of person, like someone that's like
Yes.
real funny, but also has like
Hmm.
a little bit of a fuse, like a temper.
Yeah. Yeah. But he loves Jesus, so he's not gonna take it too far. We got to stay biblical with it. But
That's true. That's
right.
true. You're right. And how long did it take you to get used to like the bumps and running the ropes and the rope burns? And uh, that's
Oh
always like the hardest part when you're
man.
learning how to wrestle.
Yeah, it's at least a year because like I had just had Odessa, and I'm just like, okay, I'm trying to get my body in shape, but also why am I wrestling and doing all these bumps? Like, I'm pretty sure my insides was like, girl, what are you doing? And also battling active Crohn's. So, like, I was doing too much in all honesty. So that's probably why it took me like a year and like some change in order to get used to everything.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
definitely takes it definitely takes a while to learn that because I mean your body
Yeah.
isn't used to falling like that.
No. And I'm a former dancer, so you don't fall. There's no falling. There's no falling in dancing. Like it's like I'm like fall, like on purpose. So yeah.
Do, do you do you remember who your first match was like right out of wrestling school?
Oh man. Okay. Chastity. I think her name was Chastity King. Was it Chastity King or something like that? I think it's something similar to that. Chastity. She's from North Carolina. Um, it was a tag, and I, for the life of me, cannot remember the guy's name. I can see them as plain as day. One guy had like this. It was like this homeless gimmick. They, this is a Steve Carino's promotion. He had like this homeless gimmick and cut up jeans only on one side, because he's homeless.
Yeah, of
And,
course.
right, right. Burn holes in his t-shirt, same jeans every single time. And then we just pick him up out of the crowd, like, yeah, let him wrestle him. Just hilarious stuff. And then this other, he wasn't a jock, but he was like a muscle head type, mentality.
Hmm.
And Chastity had her country girl. She looked like Fallon from like, years ago.
Yes.
Fallon Henley from like years ago. So, but it was cool though. It was a lot of fun.
Oh my God, it sounds funny.
Yeah, I was nervous because I was like, this is the Carino spot, you know, and uh, and C.W. Anderson was in the back too, so I was
Oh
like,
wow.
oh, and Sed's on the show too. I was just, I was like, all right, what is life?
Yeah, right.
Right. I'm there, my baby's there. She's, I don't know, like a year old, year and a half.
Okay.
And like we're just passing her, as each person is working. We were doing a lot. Yeah.
Well, I mean, you have to have someone watch the kid while you go out there and wrestle, right?
Yeah. Yeah. You just never know. Kid gets passed around. We would be at PWX and I'm like, who has my baby? I went around the corner and Roderick Strong has my baby now. I'm like, give me my baby back. He's just like, oh, she's just so cute. He's just like, okay, for 5 more minutes, hold on. And I'm like, okay. And I turn around and now he doesn't have my baby. I'm like, where's my
Oh
child?
no,
That's wrestling family. Lots of aunties, lots of uncles, and
definitely.
then next Jay Briscoe's got my baby. Good, rest in peace. And I'm like, he's teaching her curse words. What? Why? Why? Yeah. Yeah, pretty
Oh my
intense.
God, that's great. And yeah, I mean, you wrestled the local leagues for a while, the local circuit, and then
Hmm.
you had like a brief stint with the WWE, and you had like a match on Raw with Nia Jax. And
Hmm.
what was that? What was that like? Like just to actually be on Monday Night Raw and to wrestle someone as strong as Nia.
It was unbelievable. There's nothing like going out there and feeling the crowd and everything. And it's funny because right before I go out the curtain, right, like literally right beforehand, Seth walks up to me. He's like, "It's fine. When you get out there, you don't even see him." And I was just like, "Okay, I don't know if I believe you or not." And I go out there, and I'm so glad I didn't get my interest because I got the attitude and stuff like that. I keep the face, but I'm looking around like he has lied. I'm not even thinking about the match. I'm thinking about how Seth just lied to my face. I see every single face. I see kernels of popcorn. I see everything. you know. And then Nia, man, that's a heavy hand. I was like,
Yes.
woo. I was like, okay. And I didn't have any offense. They did, but I was just like, I'm hitting you back because you popped the hell out of me, and I don't play that. Homie don't play that. And I just kicked her back, and she's just like, "Good, that was great." but, but yeah, I was excited, and once it was all over, I was just like, "This was awesome. This was great. Like I want to do this forever."
Oh wow.
yeah.
Nice. Nice. And then you also got to be part of AEW
Hmm.
too. And how did that all come about for you? Because you went and signed there, and you were there for a couple of years.
Yeah. Okay. So I was in Toronto. I was in Toronto, and it was the summit. It was when like all the promotions came together, all the women promotions came together and had this big show in Toronto. And I remember that weekend I won the Rise Championship, and I got in contact. I think Brandy Rhodes saw me in like a battle royal beforehand, and I got that email like that week or so, and they were like, "Hey, we're having this battle royal at AEW. Would you like to be a part of it?" And I was like, absolutely. Like it's an elephant heavy, baby. I'm showing up. So I go, we have the correspondence, and I go and I do the battle royal, and I'm just like, this feels good because I knew some of the people back there, and they have a show in Charlotte, North Carolina, and they asked me to have a dark match with Sheeta. And
Hmm.
they're like, you're opening the show. We're the first match out. We're curtain jerking here. And I go out there, and this is like my second home. By this time, I'm like, Charlotte is home. And it was
Yeah.
great to come back and see all my friends, all the family and stuff, all the promoters, everybody is just in the stands. And I have Arn Anderson on commentary, like it's just lit for me. I have the match with Sheeta. It goes amazing. And I get to the back, and Kenny is there, and he offers me the contract right then and there after the
Oh
match.
my God.
Yeah, and I'm still like, drip sweat. I'm just like, oh my God, thank you. And this is all right in front of Adam Page. And I've known Adam Page since 2011, 2012.
Oh,
Yeah, so I go up and I hug him and I say, Stevie. And I give him like this huge hug. And it was so serendipitous to be, like I said, in the backyard of Charlotte and having Stevie there, Adam, and so having Adam there and just my friends around. And it was heartfelt, heartwarming. It was a good
oh
time.
my God.
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
yeah.
definitely.
yeah.
And one of the things I loved about your time there in AEW, that feud that you have with Britt Baker was
Oh,
absolutely amazing. Like showing up
yeah.
at her dentist office, throwing her in
Hmm.
the trash bin. What are your thoughts on that feud and working with Britt?
I loved it. Like we had some like mishaps there, things like were unforeseen that we couldn't just, I didn't nobody knew she was gonna get hurt, get injured. So we just
Yeah.
had to we had to work with what we had. And but it was great though, because I was asked beforehand, like, okay, who do you want to work with? And of course I said her because I'm a talker. If I had to get on the mic and whatever like's coming to my head, I'm getting out. I'm getting it out. You know what I mean? So they were like, "Who do you want to work with?" I was like, "Oh, Britt, definitely." Like, we're already friends or whatever. So I was like, "This is going to work." She's going to be able to go toe to toe with me on the mic. That was the main thing that I was
Hmm.
concentrating on. Is I was like the promo work. You know,
Yes.
the promo work. That's what I need. And it was fantastic. I wish it would have ended a little differently, because there was just some up and downs about her being, cleared or not,
Hmm.
and but I wish we would have had our match that we were going to have. Like we were supposed to have something at Blood and Guts, the first one,
Yeah,
and then she got hurt, and I was like, dang it,
I
but
know,
we
right?
we made do. So I like the things with her almost running me over in her little golf cart, and like Rebel getting involved, and she kept calling her Reba. So it had some good moments in it. And so I was pretty happy.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Right. I love they
when
just let us go out there and do our stuff though.
oh
So
yeah,
they were just like, we have nothing written down. This is what you want to get to. And I was just like, all right, me on a live mic, if that's what you want.
they're like, oh my God, we put her live.
Right. I was just like, oh, okay.
No,
But I was continuously like popping them, because that's what I do. I just tell jokes. That's what I did backstage, just being funny.
nice,
Hmm.
nice. And what I loved about you, like when you come out to the ring, like you have like so much of that and energy when you walk out to the ring. Like, what do you do to hype yourself up right before you get out through the curtain, like to bring
Hmm.
that 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 energy?
Honestly, this is me like majority of the time. Is I'm like on 10 always. So before I go out there, it's crazy because I get really calm. Like it's like reverse me. Like I get like like it's like almost a somber cloud. Like if you had a little little thunder cloud above me. And I'm just like, maybe I look lethal. I look a little lethal. Maybe I'm like I'm about to kill somebody or something. I can do serious bodily harm. And then I hear the music. And the music is what gets me. Because the music
Hmm.
just gets you going, like especially since I know that I went in the studio, I did the lyrics with Montezi, and it just gives me hype. I hear myself, so I hear TZ in the back, so I'm like, yeah, come through, break bread interaction. Hey, like I'm already hyped. And like it's like blowing myself up before I even get down there because I'm dancing, I'm doing whatever, but it's helping with my cardio.
Oh yeah, of
Yeah,
course.
yeah, yeah. Anything to help the cardio that I won't be doing.
Exactly, exactly. And then like you and AEW parted ways then,
Hmm.
and 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 like how do you feel about like your time there up until like towards the end?
It was great. Like I've said it numerous times where I'm happy with
Hmm.
how everything turned out because of how I am now. It was a part of my evolution, part of my process. And I still have amazing friends over there, and I still have like good memories. And like, I, I'm, I'm really just elated. Like, I did it. It's just something that,
Exactly.
like, I guess it's like a different mentality because it's something that nobody could take away from me. I did it, and I did it sick as a dog,
No.
like, and that's check. That's one for me. Like, I had good memories, had good times, going out with everybody and stuff, and having the
Hmm.
matches and becoming locker room leader, which was crazy enough because I was like, me, I got the least amount of experience anyway up in here. But I guess it's like the black mom thing, maybe. That's what I I
Okay.
encapsulated it to be because when it comes to something, and I'm just like, now hold on now. You get that side eye. Sometimes I can't turn the mama off a little bit. But yeah, overall, definitely fun.
Oh
We
my
had a we
God.
had a
Yeah.
lot of fun. Probably a little too much fun. Yeah, probably a little too much fun. So I'm glad that thank you everybody for keeping your pictures to yourself. Thank you. You guys are the best. I love y'all.
Hey, hey, you have to have fun. You can't just be like all work 24 hours and not have
Right,
fun. Like you have to have fun.
right. Like, and we did
Good,
drinking, yeah,
good.
karaoke, going to get donuts. It was always usually food with me though. I was like, I need to eat, because I don't eat before I wrestle. Like
Yeah,
already dealing with Crohn's, you don't want any accidents, you know.
true, true.
So I'm like, no, I'll just eat afterwards. And then usually afterwards, I am just like a zombie because I haven't eaten. And
Oh
I've already
no.
all this energy that I've given out. And then
Yes.
and then I finally do eat. And then next I'm up for like 5 more hours. And I'm like, yeah, it's like toddler syndrome. I'm like up and down.
Oh, okay.
Hmm.
And you were also part of Rise too. You won the belt there and you were named
Yeah.
the wrestler of the year too. So how did it feel to actually be a champion and be the wrestler of the year?
Well, it felt really good. When it comes to like titles and championships, I think Denzel Washington said it best. Man gives the award, you know, Yah gives the reward. So, it's nice to have and be like, oh, my accomplishments, I did it. But, heavy is the head who wears, or, that wears the crown. So it's like a catch 22. As soon as I
Hmm.
got it, I'm like, yeah, but now what can I do for somebody else?
True.
Like, okay, wrestler of the year, but now who am I helping?
Wow.
Because it's not just about me.
Oh
So
wow.
yeah, it's about wrestling. It's as a whole.
Wow, you're definitely real. Like a lot of people like especially in in that world, like they're always looking how they could better themselves and what they could do to stay on the top and step on
Hmm.
whoever they need to step on to get to
Yeah,
the top. But you're actually like looking out for the next person. Like that's
yeah.
really cool.
I have this personal saying. I was like, if we all put down the knives and pick up our forks, we can all eat.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it's enough for everyone. You know, just share.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, just
Definitely. That's
share. And
awesome.
I feel like that's how you get better too. Iron sharpens iron. So if you're training and you're helping somebody else out, that in turn is helping you out. The energy is flowing. If you just keep it all to yourself, then it's stagnant. And then that's when
Hmm.
you feel heavy and you get all those other things start happening to you with ego. Everything's building up. So if you don't release that and especially cycle it through somebody else, it's a detriment to yourself.
Oh, wow. Okay. Wow, nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you just recently like you're doing stuff with Aishi, is that how you say it? Aishi wrestling, Aisha
Ashe. Oh,
wrestling,
Ashe.
Ashay,
Ashe.
Ashay,
Yeah.
Ashay.
Yeah. Ashe. Hmm. Yeah. I know the accent be messing. Be like Ashy. Ashe. Yeah. Ashe. Oh.
Ashay wrestling. So
Mhm.
what what is it? Like what kind of wrestling is it? What kind of wrestling promotion?
Well, it is a kind of just for the culture wrestling. It is an all black promotion, and we don't say like all like African American because that just
Hmm.
alienates, but black encompasses everybody within and without, the diaspora, So it's also a cultural experience as well. So the innovative part about it is that we have performances and not just hip hop and R&B. They're neo soul, jazz, So it'll be different, ranging different genres at Ashe.
Oh wow.
Hmm.
So it's like a little mix of everything. It's wrestling, it's
Yeah,
music, and
yeah.
and
It's art, it's culture.
Oh,
It's a vibe.
wow.
It's a vibe. It's a yeah.
That actually sounds really fun.
It is. It is. It's really nice because like we're booking people that haven't had a chance to really get out there. So they'll do the shows, and then the honorable Darius Lockhart, he is the creator and owner, cultivator of Ashe Wrestling, and he chops the episode. He puts it in the episode, so you'll have Ashe episode number one, two, etc., and you'll never know what part of the show you're getting because it's also putting in promos, putting in vignettes, putting in like little segues and stuff like that. Like it's like I said, it's an experience. So you're not just
Okay.
watching from match to match to match.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
that actually sounds really smart. I like that.
yeah, yeah. It's cool. The whole production of it is amazing.
Oh, wow, nice.
Yeah.
And during WrestleMania week in Vegas, like you were part of the is it Whale Mania or Wally
Wa
Mania?
Wale, Wale
Wally
Mania. Yeah, yeah,
Mania.
because the rapper, his name is Wale.
Oh, okay.
Hmm.
Okay. I was
Hmm.
wondering why it was called that. Okay.
Yeah. Yes,
And
yes. It's
how
literally the
was that
biggest
like?
party. Ah, Wale Mania truly has my heart because it's so much fun. It's literally wrestling and hip hop meets. It's the biggest
Mhm.
party ever, starting the week off, the Mania week off with a bang. So you never know who's gonna come through the door. So, but this time it was great. I got to Jey Uso came through, Naomi came through. She talked her stuff. I was like, yeah, tell these girls proceed with caution. So that was pretty cool. Um, we also had, of course, we had out there. Ricochet was out there. Almost, he was out there.
Yeah.
They was just talking stuff about who's more bald. But, but I was like, "Why you bald?" And he was like, "I'm bald, but why he bald?" And I was like, "Yeah, why you bald?" And we just on stage clowning him, knowing that he could squish us in like 0.2 seconds.
He's huge.
He
Like,
is huge.
I
And then we
know.
had Samantha the Bomb came through and she performed
Yes.
Shawty Wanna, which is literally one of the most lit tracks I've heard in a long
I love that song.
time.
Like,
It
yeah.
gives me Angie Stone vibes, God rest her soul. Like it gives me something. I was like, yes, come save R&B. But yeah, it was like I said, it was amazing. And Wale took to the stage as well. And then we had DJs. We had DJ Tommy Carlucci. We had DJ Benny X.
Oh
We
my
had
God.
DJ Money. Like yeah, we we had time.
I
We
see
had
that.
a
Damn.
time. I feel like I'm missing somebody as far as DJs, but if I do, please charge it to my heart.
Wow.
And then we had
Wow.
like a four-way, like a fatal four-way rap battle. That was cool. Because yeah, we had the Saga there, DNA was there, Tay Rock was there, and Chess. At it was lit. It was so lit. And it was at the Brooklyn Bowl. So yeah, bowling happening in like the little VIP area. And I was like, you lucky I'm at work, because otherwise I'd be over there as well.
You be with your
Yeah.
bowling, right?
Right, exactly. I'd be over there bowling, striking. And then it was the creme de la creme was that it was sponsored by Netflix. So it was like
Oh,
Netflix presents.
really?
Huge shout out to Netflix and Strong Black Weed because they came through for us.
Oh,
Had a
wow.
whole different VIP section that had free drinks, and they were all like based off of the performers and stuff like that.
Oh
So
my
that was
God.
nice. Yeah, we had Kev on stage and Mrs. Kev on stage there, Melissa. Like it was a night.
Oh
It
man,
was
that
a night. Yeah, like I took a
definitely,
little hallway
definitely.
photo. Yeah,
Wow, that sounds amazing.
it was dope. Yeah, it was the last one though. Last one. That's it. Wally Media
Oh
10.
no, really? They
Filling up
aren't
the
they aren't gonna
X.
do any they aren't gonna do any more going forward.
No, that's it. He said, Wale said he's done. And I was like,
Oh,
it's okay.
you say it's okay.
It's okay. It's a we'll survive.
Right?
We'll survive. We'll,
And I know, right?
Little,
Exactly.
yeah, little thug tear. Yeah.
And you mentioned like how you were in AEW wrestling all over the world, and you did this while you were sick with Crohn's. And
Mm.
how how did you deal with it? Like how did you wrestle like while battling that?
I honestly, I owe it all to the Most High, because like if I didn't have my faith and my support system, like my husband and my daughter, they were just behind me 110%, and through the good and through the bad and through the ugly. Like
Hmm.
it
Hmm.
it just I wish that I would have just taken a second to think about long term instead of, oh, this is what I want to do, this is what I want to do, and not thinking about how my family is going to feel when I'm having those ugly days, when I'm having those
Yeah.
bad days, and also long term with my actual body, you know. But I was definitely getting wrapped up, lots of wraps, lots of ace bandages, a lot of
Mm.
discipline when it comes to my food choices. Like usually, well, now I can have a little leeway. Like, I can eat some
Okay.
hot chips,
Oh, okay.
I can eat some hot chips and be all right. So I'm very happy about that. But beforehand, I had to keep it strict diet.
Ooh.
Yeah. It was to the point where the catering that they would be getting, like I would have to go and request it, request my items, or they would give me money and like a little stipend so I can Uber Eats my food to the venue,
Oh my
because my
God.
diet is so, yeah, it is, no dairy except for eggs. Um, Only meat I can really have is like salmon and turkey. Yeah, so like no chicken, no red meat, no none of that. Um, I have to like eat in a certain way, like digestion wise. So like if I eat nuts, I have to wait 30 minutes to an hour before I eat anything else. So I have to be strategic with what I eat and how I eat it. So like I can eat burgers now, but beforehand I couldn't, because the bread intermingling with the meat would cause like inflammation, because the stuff's just sitting in my stomach rotting.
Oh my
And
God.
right, and that would cause inflammation throughout my intestines, and then then there's ulcers, abscesses, fistulas, like stuff just starts happening. So
Mm.
yeah, I had to be very careful with what I eat and how I ate it. So
Yeah.
so it was tough. It was just a lot of stress, and
Yeah.
dealing with motherhood and dealing with said schedule, which was already tough because we had two different schedules. So it was a lot. And then I was taking my medicine every 6 weeks. So I went to the
Mhm.
cancer institution and would get the Remicade and it would be like 3 hours, 3, 4 hour drip, IV drip.
Oh
Yeah.
my God.
And then, yeah, I took that until the pandemic, and because I had caught pneumonia. And then they were saying you can't take your medicine or you'll just die. Your immune system is already compromised. You can't take the medicine. So I was just like, okay, so what do I do? And they're like, sorry, you can't take any medicine. So then I started to decline. Like as
Mm.
soon as, like right after I got signed, I got super sick. And my diagnosis is called toxic megacolon, which speaks for itself.
Yeah.
So I was just like, everything started to swell up. Some days I couldn't move my knees. Like it just got bad, and it just bumping made it worse, and it just
Oh,
continuously got worse and worse, and to the point where I was just like, I can't keep doing this. I can't keep doing this. But I was hard headed. And even after I stopped with AW, I kept doing that, even though like I had lost another 20 pounds. And like, yeah, because like it's your body ends up eating itself,
oh
basically.
no.
Yeah, because it's, it's just crazy. It just got
How,
it got to a point where like I went to the hospital and it was 2021. I think it was like August or October. And the lady was like, I don't know how it happened, but she's like, you have not seven fistulas, which is a connection between two things that don't They're not supposed to be connected. So when your body is going through so much information and pain, it will start to burrow like little lines in your body. And to create tunnels to get the inflammation out because it's not moving fast enough, basically. So my uterus and my rectum were conjoined because of
Mm.
all the fistulas. So like I had to have 4 surgeries to fix that. So I just had my last one in December. And
Oh,
then
okay.
yeah, so I'm done. Like my doctors are saying that I'm so healthy now where like, I can have kids. Things are
Oh, good,
so much,
good,
yeah, things are like I'm so thankful. Things are so
good,
much better
good.
now, where I am completely healthy. Now I just
Oh,
take an
good.
injection every 6 weeks. So that's easier for me than, going to do the IV
Well,
stuff.
yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
so life is much easier now.
Life is
I
good
was
now then.
Yeah,
Good.
it just took 18 years to get easier.
Ugh.
So it
Oh
was
my
a long
God.
battle. Yeah, 18 years, about it's close to 15 or so surgeries in those 18 years. Yeah, it was a struggle,
No,
but
it sounds it.
yeah, but my dad says to keep smiling, so that's that's what I do. I keep smiling because I know that it'll get better, and I'm so grateful to be in a place where this is better.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Like, how did you know you had it? Like, what are the signs of it?
Well, when I was 18, I ended up losing like 30 pounds in a month. So that, having something, mine was very drastic. So, but the signs are like when you have reoccurring ulcers, inflammation in your gut, like you can do colonoscopies to, find out if there's anything going on internally. And Crohn's is tricky because it attacks your whole entire body. Like they
Mm.
thought I had rheumatoid arthritis because I had to use crutches because my knees wouldn't bend.
Oh my
And
God.
yeah, my knees wouldn't. This was like 2018, I believe. And so they're like, you don't have rheumatoid arthritis. We don't know what's happening. And then the doctor was like, no, Crohn's is just attacking your body. So my white blood cells think that everything is an enemy. So it kind of just the inflammation just kind of takes over, in a sense. But it can be a slew of different, I guess, things that could trigger and things that signs that you can be like, oh, maybe I do have Crohn's or maybe something's wrong with my gut,
Yeah.
instead of it just being like a food allergy.
Yeah,
Really
yeah,
just,
yeah.
heavy testing. Just make sure you get your tests. Make sure you get your tests done, make sure you get your labs in and stay on top of that and make sure you get the printout. Always get the printout, you know,
Definitely.
look at your levels.
Mm. Wow.
Um,
And on like a positive note, what do you like doing during your free time?
uh, I love to cook. Yeah, like I like cooking. I don't like the cleaning part. But
I know, right? That
I like
always
right,
sucks.
right. The cleaning part sucks, but I guess I'm like AJ, load the dishwasher. But yeah, I love to cook. Um, I love to dance. I love to bowl. Like
Nice.
I was in a bowling league when I was a little baby. Well, not a little baby, but like 6 or 7.
Oh,
And
wow.
yeah, I love to read. Like I have books galore here. Um, and that's about it. And I love to sleep. I love sleeping.
Okay.
I love sleep. I love taking little naps. But then again, like it's still recouping. And
Yeah.
but actively I do love doing like Muay Thai and Jiu-Jitsu
Oh,
classes,
wow.
leg lock classes, wrestling classes, but like Greco style.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, yes. Because I've been told that like no bumping for you. I was like, okay, but you know how the itch gets. You're like,
Of course.
I gotta stay out of here. I gotta stay out of here.
And what about songs? Like, what kind of music is on your playlist?
Ooh, so neo soul, uh, classic rock, hard rock, techno, R&B. I would just say everything but polka music. Okay, no, no, No Stephen Q. Urkel's mess over here. Okay, you just leave that stuff over there. But I do like an array of music.
Okay.
My thing now is vinyls. I'm getting more into having vinyls.
Nice, nice, nice.
Yeah,
And
yeah, yeah. I like my
you
little vinyl collection.
nice. You mentioned earlier about karaoke. So what's your go-to karaoke song?
Honestly, I don't have one. I don't have one because I will come off of left field. I would do like the devil comes down to Georgia. Like if I'm in a crowd that's not suspecting me to do, or suspecting me to do like R&B or something like that, I'll pull out Garth Brooks. You know, I'll pull out the Brad Paisley. I'm here to shock the people. I don't have a song, but my theme for karaoke is shock the people.
That's a good
I
thing.
can go Nina Simone.
Yes.
It just depends. It depends on the audience. I read the audience and then I'm like, I know what I'm gonna do. Yeah,
Wow, that's good. I like that.
yeah. Do you have one?
Me, actually, Jericho's song, Fozzy
Oh, right.
Judas, the
hmm
song he used to come out to the ring to. I love that song.
Oh, yeah. I remember they had us sing that for his 35th, I think 35th anniversary.
Yes, yes,
And it was cool. It was,
nice.
yeah, it was dope.
Yeah, it's such a good song. It's definitely cat catchy, like the fans sing it and everything.
I know, right? When you got that good hook, like it's easy to be like, oh, this is a pop. I like that.
Exactly, exactly. A- And I noticed like a lot of stuff in the back. Like, who's your favorite superhero and villain?
Ooh, my favorite superhero, if we're talking like all time, it'll be Blank Man, which is very obscure because it's like Damon Wayans is Blank Man. Like I love that, love, love, love that movie. But it, mm, I go hard for the Rangers. I go hard for a Yellow Ranger and Pink Ranger.
Okay.
I like, have a nice trip. See you next fall. Like I love that movie. And my favorite villain. Oh wait, I can't wait. How did I not mention my boy, Doctor Strange? He's also
Doctor
one that
Strange,
because
yeah.
I just added him to my collection. Doctor Strange, that's the one, right? That's the one. I love his cape and stuff. His outfit looks cool.
Nice.
Right. And then as far as villains, uh Spider-Man 3, the black one, listen, I love that thing right there is hilarious. Um, but for real, Venom,
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 yes,
Venom,
definitely Venom.
Venom's number one for me. Yeah,
Definitely,
yeah,
definitely.
yeah.
And I always ask my guests this when they're on, like that. That's why I said how much I love your shirt. I'm a big
Mhm.
horror fan. Are there
Oh,
any horror films that you love to watch?
oh, in a traditional sense, I love Chucky. I love the Chucky
He's the
movies.
best.
Chucky movie. Um, and then, oh gosh, or Cedric says that liking these movies makes me weird, but I love like the Final Destinations
Yeah,
and the Saw
definitely.
movies. I can't. I will not tell you how many times I saw the Saw movies, but it's an ungodly number. And oh goodness, it's crazy. Like I will put that on in the middle of the day on a summer on a Sabbath. Look, I don't care. Like, boop, I'm watching some gory stuff. Like, yeah, split them in half. Like that's what you get. Why you ain't tell the truth?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like, like yeah, I like those type of movies. If it's anywhere close to that, where there's a mastermind and some sick, twisted stuff's about to happen, you can count me in.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah,
I
you
love
can
it.
count me.
Yeah.
You count me in with that. Hmm.
And of course, the person you're wearing on your shirt too, right?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I'm always down for Nosferatu. Hmm.
What did you think of the newer one? Did you like it? Yeah, I wasn't too much
Ah,
of a
after
nah,
you've
I
seen
wasn't
the
too much of a
classic,
fan.
right? And I'm a classic girl, so I like things that are old fashioned. And I'm just like, once you've seen the black and white, it's nothing. There's nothing going to beat it.
Yeah,
There's there's nothing going to beat this. Yeah, but I do like the vampire movies.
nice,
Yeah,
nice.
yeah,
Same,
yeah,
same.
yeah. Vampire in Brooklyn is like my favorite.
That's a good movie with
Right,
Eddie
Eddie.
Murphy.
Yeah,
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 and Angela
that's a
Bassett.
good
Yep.
movie. I like that one.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah. I mean, nothing beats Blade, of course, of course.
Yes, classics,
Hmm.
classics. And I guess like the last thing I'll ask you is there anything coming up for you that you want to plug and where can fans follow you at?
Oh no, right now, like after Mania, I'm chilling. Okay, I'm chilling until something comes up. Okay, and then the stuff that is up, I can't say. So when you see me post about it, boom, then you'll know.
Okay.
Otherwise, yeah, I can't even put an inkling out. They'll kill me.
Okay.
Look,
Okay.
I see the red dot already. I don't want to be in like the Wanted movie, okay? Like I'm just chilling, and then next thing you know, I'm in heaven. Like, what is happening here? Like looking down, I'll be like, Patrick, not Patrick, Squidward looking down on the SpongeBob and Patrick having fun because I had to open my mouth. Yeah, that's me. But they can find me on Swole World on Twitter. Yes, I still call it that because the mama named it Twitter. I'm gonna call it Twitter. And the Big Swole on IG and Swole World on TikTok.
Awesome. Well, it
Yeah.
was very nice meeting you. Thank you so
So
much for coming on and doing this. I
sorry,
appreciate it.
that was my mom. No,
It's
no
okay.
problem.
Yeah, thank you so much for coming on and doing this. You're really awesome. Like it was very
Oh
nice
no,
talking to you.
you're
You're an
awesome.
awesome person. You're funny.
No, thank you. Thank you for having me. I really do truly enjoy this. And I'm just like, I'm so happy I saw it. I was like, I really got to start looking at these request folders. But this goes to perseverance. Like you were just like, I'm not stopping. And then I saw it in Vegas and I was like, what's this? Oh, he's been messaging me. Oh, let me just go ahead and get this. So thank you. Thank you for your patience. I truly do appreciate it. You have virtue indeed. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, definitely have an amazing day and thank you
You
so much
too.
again.
Thank you. You have a great day as well.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.